Promise as we march on with the willing and the able. PAM is committed to moving forward in a coalition, in unity with a coalition. We are determined to keep the promise as we march on with the willing and the able. PAM is committed to moving forward in a coalition, in unity with a coalition of the willing.
Keeping the promise, keeping the promise, keeping the promise. Okay, hold on. We moving forward, I never back. No matter how they chat, PAM stays on track. We moving forward, no care say what I want. But bet your life the next PM will be sharp.
We got the strongest part of this unity, which is 4. So if we got the strongest part, we supposed to able enough to say, well, you got the O, but me got the 4.
Keeping the promise, that's what we do. Keeping the promise, promise here for me and for you. Keeping the promise, that's what we do. Keeping the promise, promise here for me and for you. Please. Woo. Okay. I want everybody to say hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Because who is going to be the next PM? Who is going to be the next PM? Let us say hip hooray for the next PM. Cause your time is coming. Cause we don't care what they do. None of them can stop you. Your time is coming. Yes. Let us say hip hooray for the next PM. Cause your time is coming. And we don't care what they do. None of them can stop you. Your time is coming. What we tell them? So show your hands in the air if you agree with what I say. Show your hands in the air if you agree with what I say. So show your hands in the air if you agree with what I say. So show your hands in the air if you agree with what I say.
It's all about Aftermath sounds. Don't forget it's all about PAM. Launching the candidate right here at the swing end.
When the woman up and leave you,
Once again, it's all about Pam. Celebrating here. I must say launching the candidate right here at the swing here.
like so many ladies are filled with envy. Don't you know that Insta fashion stay red? That body must be heaven sent. You got it, you got it, you got it, you really got it. You got it, you got it, you got it, you really got it. Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over, food. Ladies, you got it in the front, you got it in the back, you got it on both sides, not to mention
photosynthesis. Don't forget it's all about. Bam girl. Don't forget it's all about Bam launching the candidate right here at the swing end. So once again it's all about Bam launching the candidate right here at the swing bar and restaurant.
West Indian, look the Bajan whining, look Solution whining, Dominican whining, West Indian, I want you to grind me, grind me, grind me. I want you to grind me, grind me, grind me. I want you to grind me, grind me, grind me. I want you to grind me, grind me, grind me. Sing, ay ay ay, oh gosh, ay ay ay, weird, weird, ay ay ay, weird, ay ay ay, weird, weird, ay ay ay, drum on, ay ay ay, ay ay ay, ay ay ay. Make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them, make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them bend right over, make the girl them sing again. Ay ay ay, oh gosh, ay ay ay, weird, ay ay ay, weird, weird, ay ay ay. Give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me. Give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me. You promised me that you quit your girlfriend, and I'll be the next one to ease on in. Yeah, you promised me it'd be just us two, and I'll be the only guy kissing on you. Now give it to me, longer, kiss me, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, ease up on me now, gotcha. Gotcha. Give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me. Give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me, give me what you promised me. You make me a promise and you're gonna stick to it. You shouldn't have promised if you wasn't gonna do it. Why? You saw me and ran in another direction. I'll teach you to play with my affection. Give it to me, Get ready to wine, 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 get ready to wine.
Well, if you can win, get out of here. Well, if you can bring, get out of here. Well, if you can bubble, get out of here. We don't want no trouble, get out of here.
Can't put up your hand, get out of here. Well, if you can't jump, get out of here. You can't move your waist, get out of here. Make the noise in the place, get out of here.
Get ready to be a part of it.
Now we don't know why you bend no like we, and we don't know why they party them up fight we. We don't know why they don't like we, and we don't care why they party them up when we make them bite. Beat us, we make them bite. Beat us, we make them bite. Yo, Miller, tell them we rhythm now, put them on roast, come we make them bite. Beat us, we make them bite. Beat us, we make them bite. Beat us and say them boy can't rock beat us. No. When we sexy ladies, them the one who come with sugar man. Oh. Yo, don't block the monitor, don't block the monitor. Yo, sugar man is set. When the sexy ladies would like to come and sugar man, come wine. I should let me country girl them. We're round like a grapefruit. Yeah. Trendsetter ladies always up front and personal. I want you to do this. My soul, my rhythm and bass. Show the girl them a wine them face. Sugar man in the place, listen to time to waste. To the match the girl them a wine. This my soul, my rhythm, my bass. Show the girl them a wine them waist. Sugar man in the place and I do on the face. Where the girl them?
promise as we march on with the willing and the able. PAM is committed to moving forward in a coalition, in unity, with a coalition of the willing.
Keeping the promise, keeping the promise, keeping the promise. Okay, hold on. We moving forward, I never back. No matter how the chat, PAM stays on track. We moving forward, no case say what I want. But bet your life the next PM will be sharp.
We got the strongest part of this unity, which is 4. So if we got the strongest part, we supposed to able enough to say, well, you got the O, but me got the 4.
Keeping the promise, that's what we do. Keeping the promise, promise here for me and for you. Keeping the promise, that's what we do. Keeping the promise, promise here for me and for you. Please. Woo. Okay. I want everybody to say hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Because who is going to be the next PM?
pleasant good afternoon and welcome to the press conference of the People's Action Movement. Please stand as we welcome the candidates. I would like to welcome the Honorable Jonelle Powell to the stage. Followed by the Honorable Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant. And he's followed by the next Prime Minister of the Federation, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards. Please remain standing. As we now would have the national anthem. O land of beauty, our country, where peace abound, thy children stand free. On the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles, St. Kitts and Nevis be, a nation bound together, with a common destiny. As stalwarts we stand for justice and liberty, with wisdom and truth. We will serve and honor thee. No sword nor spear can conquer, for God will sure defend. His blessing shall forever to posterity extend. Not yet. Please remain standing as we invite Shauna Pemberton to invoke God's presence.
Good afternoon. Let us pray. Oh, dear God and Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering this afternoon, dear God. Father God, we thank you for fair weather. We thank you for everyone that is here, dear God. God, for those who are on their way, dear God, we pray that you'll hasten their footsteps, dear God. God, we pray for our ministers that are here this afternoon, dear God. We pray a covering over them from the crown of their heads, dear God, to the sole of their feet. God, we thank you for our candidate, dear God, who will be launched this afternoon, dear God. I pray, dear God, that no weapon formed against him, dear God, throughout this campaign may prosper. Because, God, you said in your word, anything that we asked in your name, it will be done. And we thank you for all that we asked today, tomorrow, and forever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please be seated. A pleasant good afternoon once again to those in attendance for the People's Action Movement press conference to announce the candidate of the People's Action Movement for St. Christopher number 8 in the upcoming general election. I wish to recognize our members of parliament and our candidates on the platform for the People's Action Movement, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards, our political leader, and the next Prime Minister of the Federation, the Honorable Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant, the Deputy Political Leader of the People's Action Movement and the representative for constituency number 4, and the Honorable Jonelle Powell, the Chairperson of the People's Action Movement and the representative of constituency number 2. Specially invited guests, I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to those who are here and those who are listening online. Our media partners for today, ZIZ, Freedom FM, Win FM, and we are live on our social media platforms, Facebook, PAM Facebook page, PAM SKN, and also the YouTube channel. This press conference is being carried from the Swing Restaurant in Keyon, and today is an exciting day for the People's Action Movement as we continue to keep the promise for the people of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. And we are ensuring that we put a proper slate in place for the future, not just for the People's Action Movement, but for the entire Federation. And so without further ado, please help me make welcome to our political leader, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards, who will bring remarks.
Kindly give a round of applause to our chairperson and candidate for constituency number 1, Natasha Shani Gray Brooks. Allow me also to recognize my colleagues at the head table, the champion from constituency number 4, the Honorable Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant. And of course, sitting on his right is the representative for constituency number 2, the Honorable Jonelle Franchette Powell. Of course, I welcome all of you this afternoon to this historic press conference right here in the Green Valley, in Keyon, where we will officially announce our candidate for constituency number 8. Before I begin with my official remarks, let me take the opportunity to thank the persons who would have made an application to be the candidate for this constituency. We have had several persons who indicated an interest. Some applied, some did not apply. But the mere fact that you had a number of persons indicating an interest in the constituency, it says to me that the People's Action Movement is alive and well. Additionally, it says to me that there are persons in this constituency who are very concerned and willing to move the work of this constituency forward. In that respect, I say a very special thank you to persons like Miss Nikisha O'Loughlin, the proprietor for Swing, who considered being the candidate for this constituency. She's sitting right in front here, and so we take the opportunity to welcome her. I say thanks to a young sportsman from this constituency, Delwayne Delaney, who also wrote a letter indicating he has an interest in becoming the candidate. I say a very special word of gratitude to the young lady, Camila Morris. Camila is the granddaughter of a former representative of this constituency, Sydney Earl Morris. She too expressed an interest in being the candidate. Additionally, we have had a former chairman of the People's Action Movement, Mr. Valentine Lindsay, who also sent in his application to be a candidate. In my view, they are all persons who would have made a great representative for this constituency. They are all persons who we look forward to continue to give service to this constituency and to support and give advice to the People's Action Movement. I am hoping to see all of those persons on the campaign trail. At the end of it, we could have only selected one person as being the candidate. However, it doesn't mean that in any way that the other persons who applied would not have made a good candidate for this constituency. At the end of the day, I think what we all need to keep in mind is that we are supporters of the People's Action Movement, and we must continue to work as one to ensure that this seat is returned to the People's Action Movement. Equally, I say a very special thank you from the bottom of my heart to the current representative for this constituency, the Honorable Eugene Alistair Hamilton. Eugene has been serving this constituency as the representative since 2010. As you look around the constituency, you will see the footprints of the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, because he has made his mark. He has left his legacy as the outgoing representative for this constituency. Eugene has indicated that he no longer wishes to be involved in elective politics, hence the change of candidate here in this constituency. Now, to get to what we are all gathered for here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon we are pleased to announce Chesley Hamilton as the candidate for constituency number 8 in the upcoming general elections for the People's Action Movement. In Chesley, we have a fighter, a man dedicated to service, and a man whose loyalty is unquestioned. Chesley is indeed, from off the bat, one of the highest caliber candidates in this upcoming election. His work among people, especially in the last 20 years, as a lawyer, is well known. His passion for this country and the well-being of its people is beyond reproach. His link to the community is solid. His intellect is from the top drawer. In his work as a lawyer, he has consistently advocated and fought for the tenets of good governance and accountability to be observed. Through the years, and on his own accord, he had battled the previous Labour government on this issue. In the latter years, he had become very concerned that though Team Unity started off promising to improve on these ideas, it had fallen back on old ways. He was less than impressed with the way Prime Minister Timothy Harris largely ignored one of the key platform issues of the original Team Unity. A few months ago, Chesley had no intention of getting involved in frontline politics, but he has come to realize the gravity and significance of the moment. As a younger man, he had contested 2 general elections before. That was his poor study days to become a lawyer. Since then, he has served the nation in many capacities. He fully understands that this nation needs him now, and that he is one of the sons of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that he must step up to the plate. Thankfully, for all of us, Chesley has shown up for duty. In agreeing to become a candidate, Chesley has had to give up a lot and is prepared to make a tremendous sacrifice. He will be better off personally not being involved in frontline politics, but he has shown that he is a true patriot and has prepared to do so for the nation. We are indeed very pleased to have him share our platform. Not only will Chesley be a good candidate, but he also will be a great representative who won't abandon his people, and he will be one of the most talented men to have in government. His candidacy strengthens our team and will prove to be an asset not just to the people in number 8, but to the entire country. Indeed, today is a historic day, and Chesley's candidacy is certainly a boost to this entire campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to have Chesley as the candidate in constituency number 8. Chesley is someone who I have known personally for many, many years. Chesley and I have been on the political platform together for many years. I remember my days of being the only sitting representative parliamentarian for PAM. And during those days, Chesley quite often would be sitting in the gallery in Parliament giving me his full support. As a matter of fact, I recall during one of those sittings, as I was speaking, the electricity went. There is Chesley in the gallery trying as best as possible to indicate to me that there is no electricity and no one can hear me. But of course, he can't speak loudly, and I am there speaking while at the same time trying to decipher what it is Chesley is saying to me. Chesley could not have held it any longer. And in a very loud voice, he said, "They turn off the electricity on you. They turn off the electricity." The Speaker of the House then, Marcella Liebert, in her anxiety to remove Chesley from the Parliament, she said, "The member in the gallery is disturbing the Parliament. Have him removed." And Chesley was thrown out of the Parliament for supporting me. Fortunately, his absence was only for that sitting. And so on the next sitting of Parliament, Chesley was back in the Parliament giving me his full support. He and I have traveled together to various countries. He didn't like many of the trips because quite often I would go to sleep and I would trust Chesley to drive me for many, many hours. On one such occasion, we left London and we were heading to to Leeds. And I said to him, I am not going to drive, you know. You will do the driving. And so Chesley drove, and I entrusted my life fully in his hands because I went to sleep. On that same trip, Lindsay would recall that I had a court appearance, and the judge threatened to arrest me. And between Lindsay, myself, and Chesley, we had to be strategic in terms of ensuring that I wasn't arrested on my return to St. Kitts. I would not give the details as to what we had to do at that particular point in time. But again, you see that Chesley has been a supporter over the years. He has been a former chairperson of the People's Action Movement. He ran twice in constituency number 7 against the gentleman who will no longer be the Prime Minister come the next general election. So certainly, Chesley is no stranger to the political platform. He understands the politics. You have heard him on several different radio stations speaking to the politics. In 2012, when I no longer worked at TDC and I needed to go into private practice as an accountant leading up to the elections of 2015, it was in his legal office where the candidate for constituency number 1 was also working. I set up my accounting practice, and I never once paid him a single cent in respect of rent or anything of that nature. During that time, I would have seen many persons pass in and out of his legal practice, and to the best of my knowledge, he never ever refused to represent anyone because they were not able to afford the charges that he would have given to them. I am therefore quite satisfied that in Chesley Hamilton we have found a son of the soil, one who is willing to sacrifice. And I said to sacrifice because I know what it is to make the sacrifice that he's making, not only in terms of entering politics, but like Lindsay and myself, who had to give up their U.S. citizenship, Chesley too has taken the decision to give up his Canadian citizenship to become the candidate in this constituency. It speaks to the level of sacrifice that Chesley is making for his own people, the people of constituency number 8. The final thing that I want to say to persons is that Chesley is from right here in Cayon. Chesley is no stranger to the Cayon community. He was born here in Cayon. He grew up here in Cayon. And so you, the people of Cayon, you know him. In terms of speaking to his own family roots and background, I think that he is best served to do so. Thank you.
We want to thank our political leader for his remarks and for announcing the candidate for the People's Action Movement in this constituency. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man of the hour, the honorable, soon to be honorable, see I'm putting the marks on him already, Chesley O'Neill Hamilton, the next parliamentary representative of constituency number 8.
Sitting by and watching the slaughter in the fourth quarter. Sugar and bitter, ready.
Madam Chair, allow me to adopt the protocol already established. It was Martin Luther King who said, "It is not where you stand in time of comfort and convenience, but where you stand. The ultimate measure of a man is where you stand in time of challenge and controversy." I am here today to stand with you. Not because it is comfortable, not because it is convenient. It comes at great sacrifice. But I'm here because to whom much is given, much is expected. And much has been given to me. Much has been given to me. And therefore, much is expected of me. And therefore, people, I am here because I went to school here in Keon. Some of you won't even know the schools I'm going to talk about. I went to Teacher Estelle's school. I went to Sister Bridge School. Then I went to Keon Primary School. I also went to Keon High School. But in between that, my mom at one time moved from Keon to St. Peter's. And when I was living in St. Peter's, I went to the Bastia Boys School. At one time, she went to Puerto Rico. I lived in Keys by Mrs. Vaughn. And again, I went to the Bastia Boys School. I'm simply saying to you, the only place in this constituency that I have not lived is in Connery. I have lived in Otles with my Aunt Doris. And those who don't know who is that, that's probably highlights great-grandmother. I'm mentioning highlight because, you know, the young people need to have some relevance. Infamous is my cousin on father's side. Highlight is my cousin on mother's side. There can be no war in constituency number 8 once Chesley would be caught in the crossfire. I believe in the peace. There's lots of people who are now claiming the peace. I believe in the peace because I believe in law, order, peace, and good government. Law, order, peace, and good government. It is the preamble of a country whose passport I just gave up. I am saying that because we are saying we have peace. Know that we are dealing with the young men who were caught up in that fray. But I want to say real peace includes those who lost their loved ones. There can be no real peace. And I am asking that there be peace and reconciliation. A peace and reconciliation moment in this constituency and in this country, where the people who lost their loved ones are also compensated. I don't want to go into too much details or into any policy. But if you can find more than $50 million per year for the peace program, if 500 people died during that time and each got $100,000, that ain't $50 million. So therefore, those who lost their loved ones must also be compensated if this peace is to last, because the second wave would be worse than the first wave. So I and we are in support of the peace. So don't let nobody come with no 30 pieces of silver think they could buy the peace. I want to talk to the people of the constituency because housing is a problem. Housing is a problem in constituency number 8. From Otles, Keyon, Keys, Connery, St. Peters. Mr. Prime Minister, in waiting, I am asking you that your cabinet cannot have a ministry of settlement without any lands. It cannot have no ministry of agriculture without any lands. So the ministry of sustainability has to have those things as part of it, because in a cabinet, I do not want no minister houses say he ain't got no land to build house. So I am basically saying, Keon and all of the communities in this, we need housing and we want no excuses. But when you build houses, people want water. Because if you're building houses and you're not providing electricity and water, we're going to have problems. I want us to solve the water problem once and for all, whether it means from the source or it means we're going to deal with desalination. Whatever it takes, we need to solve the water problem in Keon and in this community. Please, I beg. Education. We need education. We need scholarships. We need to make sure that everybody can get the education they want. But Mr. Prime Minister, again, student loans coming through Development Bank can be 9 and 12%. Please. You cannot tax our best brains and minds at 12% interest. If we are to be a nation going forward and a person take a loan for $200,000 or whatever to do the schooling, by the time they don't pay off 12%, how they going to afford a house? How they going to then send the children to school? Please, allow the people to get the 40 acres and the mule by being able to access education, and therefore they can be part of the higher earning population in this country. So therefore, development bank loans cannot and should not be at 9 and 12% when we have billions in the SIDF. I am simply saying we have to look at our sporting facilities. In this community, everybody know how to say, Keon, man and ball, ball and man. Okay? But I can't do that now. Because I got to do that for Canary. And I got to do that for St. Peters. So when they play, they're going to say, let's go constituency number 8. No matter which team playing, I'm going to say, let's go constituency number 8. Because it is important that we support all of our sporting teams and clubs in this community. And with me being there, you know they're going to get support. Let me say this. Don't forget when they try to throw Canary out of the league. Don't forget it. It was Natasha Gray. It was Natasha Gray who stood up. Natasha Gray who stood up for the people and the community of Canary. Natasha Gray. No other lawyer. So that the people of Canary could enjoy the team and the club still in the Premier Division. And that is called representation. Representation. I could go on about policy and community. Whether it is by using the airport, which is in St. Peters, to make sure that the spin-off industries that do trade are built in St. Peters and can access the airport for cargo and other things. So that the people in St. Peters do not have to always go to Bastille or to the Southeast Peninsula or other places for jobs, but they can find jobs in the community. The industrial park in Canary, where Scott is building his stuff, we got to make sure that more properties and more buildings and opportunities for employment are built in that area so that the people of constituency number 8 and Connery can find employment without having to go to Bastille. I am simply saying to you, we want jobs in our community. We want housing in our community. We want our people uplifted. But it's about the policy and the process. And what I'm simply saying to you, I'm going to come round to meet you so that my ideas can be reformed, so that we can tinker with policy, so that when I go inside there to represent you, I could speak truth to power. I could speak truth to power and say, the people of constituency number 8 send me here to represent them, and these are the things that we want. I don't want excuses. I am a man who has to deliver, whether it is in court, whether wherever I go, I have to deliver the goods. And therefore, when I am in parliament, I am simply saying, and in cabinet, I would be there to represent you and to deliver on behalf of the people of constituency 8. Come tomorrow, we want to hit the ground running. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank all of you for supporting me. I need your help. I need your support. I need your help. I need your support. I need you to walk. I need you to make the telephone calls. I need you to make the telephone calls. I need you to bring everyone, bring one. I want you to govern and marshal and scrutinize the voters list. And those of you who are not registered, please, those of you who are saying you're not going to vote, those of you who are saying that you ain't see nobody to vote for, I give you the promise. I give you the promise and the commitment and my word, which is my bond, that I'll be there to advocate for you. Come tomorrow, and come, if you put me in parliament, I will represent you. So therefore, I ask you to support the People's Action Movement. I would want to end where I started. It is not the ultimate measure of a man is where he stand not where he stand is not where he stand at time of comfort and convenience, but where he stand in time of challenge and controversy. To whom much is given, much is expected. And Keon, St. Peter's, Connery, Keys, Atlas, you have been given much in this Green Valley and much in this country of ours. And therefore much is expected of you. Not because of Pam, but because this is your country and your country needs you more now than ever. In the words of King Arrow, would you stand by and see your country dying and never lend a helping hand? I am here because I have answered that question. I am here to lend a helping hand. Good evening.
We want to thank our new representative for constituency number 8 on behalf of the People's Action Movement, Mr. Chesley Hamilton, for addressing the nation and addressing those here in constituency number 8. Just before we continue, I want to acknowledge one of our media partners, Von Radio, who are with us. And before we continue, can I just ask your indulgence for one moment, for a brief minute silent for a former constituent of constituency number 8, Mr. Jamari Rogers, a young gentleman from Connery. He just recently passed, and one of our persons who would have applied to be a candidate, Delwayne Delaney, has been championing his cause, but unfortunately we lost him. Just please stand for one moment silent. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I would now call on my colleague, the Honorable Lindsay Grant, to give brief remarks in relation to the candidacy of our new candidate, Chesley O'Neill Hamilton.
members, friends, supporters, well-wishers of the People's Action Movement, a pleasant good afternoon. This is not my afternoon. This is Chesley O'Neill Hamilton's afternoon. But I knew very, very long ago that the day will come when he would be the representative for constituency number 8. I want to begin my 4 little minutes address also by saying this. You see, life is very interesting because I came back from university sometime in 1991. Went straight into the throes of politics as a young man. Had a very large law firm, but then I became the political leader of the People's Action Movement. And I decided at that time it was either politics or law. Because the two of them I said I couldn't do as the political leader. And so I put the law behind and I went into politics. And it is interesting because Chesley joined me in a little one-room office that I had just to make sure I made enough money to feed my family. And Chesley, remember what we used to call that room? We used to call it the war room. The war room. Because those were the days when we were fighting, when labor was at its height. Those were the days when Chesley and I were planning strategy in this little war room, as we call it. And so it is very interesting that years later, Chesley would now be called upon by the people of constituency number 8 to represent them here. Because believe it or not, Chesley all along wanted to be the candidate for constituency number 8. And I'm going to say to you this afternoon, and those who are listening and hearing my voice, Chesley Hamilton is not only the representative for the People's Action Movement for constituency number 8, but the next time the bell rings, he will be the Honorable Chesley O'Neill Hamilton as part of the candidates going into the parliament. You well know Chesley was a former chairman of the People's Action Movement. At the time I was political leader. And I want to tell you I have roots right here in Cayon. Because my grandfather happens to be from Cayon. And I remember joking, because my grandfather was one of the biggest labor men in Cayon. Yes, Bossy Grant. One of the biggest labor men in Cayon. They used to call him Big Red. He was so much a labor. And one day someone was walking down the street in Cayon where he had his little shop over there. And they troubled his wife, Mrs. Grant. And they said, Mrs. Grant, labor dog, Mrs. Grant. And you know what Mrs. Grant said to the person at that time? Labor dog, Miss Grant? Well, is the puppy them ruling, Pam? You know what she was saying? At the time, both she grandchildren, them basically, one was the chairman of Pam, and one was the political leader of Pam. I want to say to you also that in Chesley, we have a very, very, very good candidate. If the last candidate came out of Cayon with 600 and something votes ahead of the pack, this candidate will leave Cayon with in excess of 900 votes coming out of Cayon. So I'm saying to you, Cayon, Keys, Atlas, Connery, victory is coming when the bell is rung. And that is all we're waiting for. You see, we just heating up, Heating up. Because we've given you a really good candidate in this constituency this Wednesday afternoon. And come Thursday afternoon, we're going to give you a big candidate for constituency number 3. You know, I am Chesley Senior when it comes to the law. Even though so short, yes. But I want to tell you, Chesley has blossomed over the last years to be one of the best criminal lawyers in this country. And not only in this country, in the region. And so, it ain't no little candidate we have. We have a big candidate for constituency number 8. You know, my son studying law. I think he finished next month. Yeah, you're right. He finishes next month. I asked him what he gonna do. He say, well, you know, Uncle Chesley is the best lawyer. I'm going with him. But he said, you can't go with him. You have to go into my firm. He said, no, but Chesley the best lawyer. So even the youngsters coming out of school want to go with Chesley. So kudos to him. Give him a round of applause. But I am so happy. I am so happy that Chesley has joined the fold as a candidate in this election of the People's Action Movement. And one of the reasons why I'm so happy is because we were right there, front and center in 2013, 2014, 2015 when we won. We sincerely believed in the principles of good governance. We believed in it. We fought hard for it. The people believed in us, and they delivered for us. And then one man went astray. One man went astray. But the important thing we have to remember is that we have an opportunity to fix it. And so for those who have gone, come back home. For those who have left, come back home. There's room under the tent for you. Come back home. Because come the next general election, the People's Action Movement will win resoundingly in St. Christopher and join with the CCM, the Concerned Citizens Movement, to bring better, stronger, brighter future for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Good afternoon.
We want to thank our representative from constituency number 4, the Honorable Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant. He's fiery and hot. Next, we will have brief remarks from the representative from constituency number 2, the Honorable Jonelle Powell.
Adonin. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good afternoon. My name is Jonelle Franchette Herbert Powell, and I'm the chairman of the People's Action Movement. And as a Herbert, I came out of the house of Pam, out of the belly of Pam, so I know what Pam looked like. And I know that we have presented to the people of constituency number 8 a big Pam man in Chesley O'Neill Hamilton, also known as Bakaliko. Chesley is a principled man. He's a good man. I know him. When you hear him and Lindsay talking about the war room, I was there as a law student. I know I was part of the strategy. Many of those early marches, we were all in the war room planning and preparing and putting together. Chesley is a man who will put his neck on the line for you, the people of this constituency. And I'm not just saying that. I know that from experience. I could never forget one of those marches that emanated from discussions in the war room. Saw the police stopping us right there by Westbourne Gut in Central Bastille on Central Street. And they stopped us. They were trying to prevent us from having a legal march in this country. And I stood my ground. And some of the hierarchy of the Labour Party who were there at the time and directing the police said to them, lock up that young man. We're going to make sure he don't go back to school and he can't finish his law degree. And when the police took charge towards me, Chesley Hamilton jumped in between and said, no. Let me deal with this. You have to go back to law school and come back and serve your country. Chesley Hamilton ended up being arrested that afternoon. That is the man that you are getting. A man who is prepared to sacrifice himself for the people, for the fight, and on principle. And I think I know a little bit about Constituency 8, Particularly Keon, more specifically Spooners, where my daughter lives. So I think I know how to get to the heart of Keon people and Constituency number 8 people. And I think and know that Chesley Hamilton is going to do just that. He will endear the heart of the people of Constituency number 8 and let them know that they have a good representative. The name might be the same, but it's a fresh face and fresh ideas that we are presenting to you here in Constituency number 8. And I want to echo the calls of Lindsey Grant to all of those who might have become disheartened, might have been turned off a bit. This is not time to get tired. This is not time to get weary. This is the time to step up and step forward. Come home to the People's Action Movement. Come home. It is supper time. Constituency number 8. You have a good man. I don't know if you understand why Chesley Hamilton always wears a hat. The hat is a symbol of Palm. And even when Chesley took a principled stand and said, I did not agree with certain things that were coming out of the Team Unity administration of which my party is a part of, I remain in solidarity with the People's Action Movement because he knew what we stood for. He knew that the day would come when we would have to stand up against those who wanted to go astray and say, we ain't going down that road with you. Chesley Hamilton ran twice in number 7 against the man when he was a part of the original problem. And he's back again now that he has gone back to his old ways to champion the cause of the people of this country and in particular the people of Constituency number 8. And let me tell you, Chesley has a special role in these upcoming elections. He has a very special and important and crucial role because Chesley Hamilton on a national level is going to help us to retire one political leader. And in Constituency number 8, he's going to retire another political leader and send him packing. It's 2 political careers that Chesley Hamilton got to take care of in these upcoming elections. And I have the confidence in him. So, I want the people of Constituency number 8 to rally behind Chesley Hamilton. I want you to rally behind the People's Action Movement. I want you to rally behind real unity. For too long, the people of this country and people in this constituency have been sidelined because of one man's greed. Well, it is time to do away with that and to ensure that all of us get our fair share, regardless of where we are from. And so people, Green Valley, whether you're from Atlas, Keyon, Keys, Connery, St. Peters, I invite you to come and support the next parliamentary representative for constituency number 8. The soon-to-be Honorable Chesley O'Neill Hamilton, also known as Bakaliko, as we form the next government of real unity with our partners across the waters with the CCM, because better days are coming for all of us. Thank you. Good afternoon.
We want to thank our chairman, the Honorable John L. Powell. Let's give him a round of applause again. Just a few announcements before we bring the proceedings to an end. Tomorrow, we will be launching another one of our candidates in constituency number 3. So I extend an invitation to one and all to come on out and see who is the new candidate for the People's Action Movement in constituency number 3 at OJ's complex in Camps. 4:30 p.m. tomorrow as well. And then at 7:30, we go to Molyneux for another series of our town hall meetings. So we're going into constituency number 7, and I'm inviting one and all to come to Molyneux. And I'm also telling you to visit our Facebook page. We have a contest going on right now, and tell people why the People's Action Movement should form the next government. For the members of the media team, I invite you to the tent on my right after the end of the press conference to carry out any interviews that you may wish to have with the new candidate and any member from the team. I would now invite Mr. Gavin Williams to give the vote of thanks.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, make some noise. I said make some noise. Yeah, we're ready to celebrate. But first, we must put in the work. We got to put in the work. So I'm depending on every one of you in constituency number 8, whether you're from St. Peters, Connery, Keys, and the Green Valley, to come out in your numbers and let's support Bakaliko for our next representative in constituency number 8 for the People's Action Movement. Let me cool down now, because I just come to do the voter thanks. Yeah. So first of all, let me adopt the protocol that was so ably being established. But I'll make exception to welcome my friend, Mr. Carlton, Jupan, Licky Bud, Talk Puppy, drop out the chair again, the number 1 entertainer on the radio. I would also like to thank all the radio stations that are tuning in, all of you that come out this afternoon for our big launching of our next winning candidate. And make no mistake about it, we're going to start, well, Market said we're going to start the counting in Nevis. But we're starting it here in number 8. So we're ready to take back again our government, and we're going to make sure that Chesley Hamilton is our representative in the next big government. Thank you all for coming out. Continue to support the People's Action Movement, and we're moving forward with PAM.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And just a little bit of entertainment. Katie Dan will entertain you, so stay around, mix and mingle, and enjoy camaraderie with our candidates.
Check. Somebody say, hey. Yeah, man. You know, a party where the People's Action Movement's massive. Up with the mic, up with the music. Yeah, man. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey. Beside we. Up with the music. We. Nice. 1, 2, 3. We don't worry about 10,000 rise. Ha.
10,000 fall. All you feel this one, yeah, with it. Check, nice. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. Warm it up, baby. Let's go, let's go. Yes, the fire higher and them. Yeah. Yes, them never gonna win. Yeah, them never gonna win. Hey, yeah, man, turn up the sound, not the party. People's Action Movement, somebody say, hey, hey. Amen. Win, win, win. Yeah, them never gonna. Listen, now one. We don't worry about nothing, what we tell them. Boom. 10,000 rise, 10,000 fall. How you feel this a man when them loyalty they up to all? 10,000 rise, 10,000 fall. How we feel this day man when the loyalty they up to all? Blaze the fire higher and them is judgment on them. Blaze fire higher, higher. I mean, Mr. Blaze, I see you drink your witch. Hey, what we say? Big up all the People's Action Movement, massive, you know, so we just give you a little entertainment before we go, alright? Hey, hey. True on there. Nice. 1, 2. With the flag. Yeah. This is how we're gonna start it. Oh yeah. Let's go. Tonight is the night. It's our baby. Do as you like. Wind up and tease me. Do what you want with me tonight. Have your way. Everybody will come party with us. Let's go. Carry on. Bumper club. Carry on, baby. Hey. Carry on. Carry on, baby. Carry on, carry on, carry on. Wind it up, wind it up. Let's go. Hey, I wanna shake it up, I shake it up, I shake it up. Oh, I like that. Hey, I wanna bend it up, bend it up. Hey, I wanna give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, baby. I like that. Hey, what we tell them? You have to say 911 emergency. 911 emergency. I don't think you're good. If you know you work hard for your money, let's go. Double M. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get in the style, I'm a rhythm, everything good. Hi, what we say? Let's go. Hey, hey. Got a little money in my pocket and I just got paid. I could do it a little more, but I still I wait. I know I'm stepping out to a party. Link up in everybody. 1, 2, and everybody. Whoa, push it up, we rip it up, we mash it up. Yeah, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody say we and they say we a kid up. We just stay there, we mash it up. We rip it up, we rip it up, we mash it up. Yeah, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody see me, everybody. Let's go. I love it, take a little drink now. Do what we want. Be like hey, and I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna take a little drink now. Do what I want. Let's go. You don't know the vibes is work hard, harder, work hard, play harder, work hard, harder, work, we are work. Hey, I feel a little steamy, something. Hey, let me steam up the swing. Hey, when y'all just everybody, let's go. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Bubble on it, bubble on it, bubble on it. Bubble and the bubble and the bubble and the bubble and the bubble. Everybody miss a bubble. Everybody miss a bubble. Everybody miss a. Hey, come make me bust a line. I mean, yeah, we're gonna take a short break and then come back to the entertainment, okay? All right. We're just warming up the thing. Yeah, turn on the DJ. Yeah, you're there.
This one goes out to all of the girls and them in attendance right now. High heel wearing good up. I need you to come to the front. You're gonna take it down in a position. Tell your friend and them to pull your thing. I need your full compliance. Now follow what I say. Girl, bend down, push back. Oh, girl, I like that. Bend down, push back. Oh, girl, I like that. Now this is the part where you take over. Do whatever you want. Grab all your friend them, grab all your girl them. Show me your sexy dance. Like that. Show me your sexy dance. Ram, ba-dam, bam, bam, bam. Show me your sexy dance. Like that. Show me your sexy dance. Ram, ba-dam, bam, bam, bam. Show me your sexy dance. Your body is amazing, you know. The way how you take it. Oh, you mean you don't want to dance? Well, yo. Oh, you mean you don't want to dance? Well, it's I don't know. All the girls them to the dance floor. I don't know. This one goes out to all of the girls them in attendance right now. High heel wearing good up. I need you to come to the front. You're gonna take it down in a position. Tell your friend and them to pull your thing.